A good nerve Shabbos Kodesh Parshas Chukas here in Eretz Yisrael Tavshinayim Test 5779 from Yerushalayim Mer Kodesh. This week, Klal Yisrael lost the giant. We're going to do a little bit different. We don't do this regularly, but Dovid, Trenk, I never learned in Adelphia or in my Parshas Yeshua, and I never went to Camp Monk. So I never really had a direct, never really a direct Talmud per se of Reb Dovid. I learned by his brother in Darkei Torah. I had an uncle who grew up in Adelphia, and another uncle who lived across the street from Rabbi Trenk the last few years in Lakewood. I went to Camp Monk with him, and over the years I got to cross paths a couple of times, and every time I bumped into the Yid, it was. If you ever met him once, you loved him. He, this week's Parsha, Hashem tells Moshe, Daber el Asela, talk to the rock, V'yotzu meimov, and its waters will come out. Daber el Asela v'yotzu meimov. Talk to the rock, and its waters will come out. What's its waters? If you look at the word Selah, as opposed to Evan, Selah, right in the middle is a three-letter word, Samach Lamed Ayin. In the middle of the Selah, there's a Lamed. What's the Lamed? Lamed Otanu. What's the Lamed teaching? Look in the middle of the Lamed. There's a Mem. How do you spell Mem? Mem, Yud, Mem. Right? So you have Selah, Samach Lamed Ayin. In the middle letter is Lamed. How do you spell Lamed? Lamed, Mem, Daled. The middle letter of the Lamed is a Mem. You spell Mem, Mem, Yud, Mem. Daber el Asela, talk to the rock, the Yotzu Meimov, the Mayim that's within it, linguistically, and metaphorically and physically. I believe from the little bits, from the glimpses over the years that I got to see Reb Dovid in action, with his Talmidim, with everyone that he came in contact with, this was his mission. Reb Dovid was a pneumistic yid. The Chitzonians didn't bother him, it didn't stare him. Guy wears a white shirt, a blue shirt, a checker shirt, a t-shirt, a polo. Lo manienoto, yarmulke, no yarmulke, earring, no earring. Lo manienoto. He didn't see that. He didn't see the Selah, the rock around there. He took neshamas that other people said, this kid's a Selah. He's a rock. There's nothing gonna go in there. There ain't no chance for this kid. There is no potential for him. And he took these Selahs, thousands of Selahs, of rocks. The Selah, that he looked at the Yid and he said the word of Yesh Shishim Ribi Shishim Ribi Yatsu Mitzrayim, and every single yid is a letter in the Sefer Torah, so there's got to be a bit of Kedusha in every single one. And he spoke to the Selah, that everybody called the Selah. He spoke to them. Torah doesn't say Vayomer. What's the difference Vayomer and Vayedaber? What's the difference between Emor and Daber? You'll never hear somebody say, Emorli, ma koreh b'chayim shelcha. That's not, just not linguistically, that doesn't work. You'll hear the words, Ani omer lecha, kacha ze tzarich liot. I'm telling you, this is the way it has to be. That means I have something on my chest that I want you to hear. As Ani omer lecha, kacha ze tzarich liot. I'm telling you, this is the way it has to be. Daber is a different word. Bo achi, daber elai. Ma koreh b'chayim shelcha? Come here, brother. Tell me what's going on in your life. And he will say daber ichta. I want to talk to you. You don't hear the words. Linguistically, that doesn't make sense because there's a very big difference. Even though when you translate it, Emor means to speak, Daber means to speak. But it's not a real translation. It's not amitis tacha. It's not real. Emor is I'm talking to you. Daber means I'm speaking to you. And there's a difference. And Reb Dovid understood the difference that, you know what your problem is? The Torah says, Daber el hasela. That's why you can't reach this kid. Because you're Vayomer el hasela. You're talking. And yeah, in that case, he's a seller. But if you're Daber and you talk, and you'll realize that Vasaleva Evan, there is no Lev Evan, it's a Lev Asela. And then V'yatzu Me'emav, these Talmidim, thousands of Talmidim that are alive and living Yiddish Leben, Jewish lives, Ruchniistic lives, V'yatzu Me'emav, their water, their inside Me'emav, Mayim El Torah, their potential, their Yiddishkeit, their Kedusha was slowly blossomed and penetrated out of them. And it just came out with the confidence in the love and the nurturing that Reb Dovid was able to give them. Reb Akiva saw a rock that the Mayim slowly penetrated until it was so through the rock. The water of the Mayim penetrated the rock. Reb Dovid penetrated the rock with his Ava, with his Reb Dovid. Just the way he did it. He was a very unique individual who lived by this. And I honestly believe that this is the message in these words, and we know that there's no mikra, and things don't just happen. And if in Parshas Kairach we learn last week's parsha, which is the parsha, or this week's parsha, if you're in Chutz La'aretz, Reb Dovid had a different way of doing things than most people, and that's for sure. But his kavod HaTorah, his respect for Talmidei Chachamim, his rebbeim, the kavod HaTorah by him was huge. He may have disagreed with them in terms of practice and in terms of how to work with certain bach. But to start his own movement, Who are you fooling? He could have, but who are you fooling? That's Kerech V'Adasai. And the methodology that he used was Devar Hashem. It was what Hashem said. Daber Laselo, speak with it. Nurture. And you'll see, like Rebbe Kiv, the Mayim, the Torah is going to penetrate through from the inside out. And Reb Dovid saw that in the boys. He saw that in his Talmidim. He saw that in every Yid in Klal Yisrael. He saw the Pneumius, what was inside, in the Selah, in the Lamed, in the Mem, the Mayim, the Torah. And ultimately, in the Mayim, the Mem, Yud, Mem, the middle letter, the Yud representing all that Semitis, the Shem, Hashem itself, the Shechina. And he saw the Kedusha in every single one, and he loved him for it. And he hugged him for it, because he felt that was going to bring him closer to that Kedusha for himself. And ultimately, it brought them out, obviously. And what the tzaddik, right at the beginning of this one's Parshas, Zois Chukas HaTorah, says Reb Tzaddik HaKohen, the Torah has to be chakuk b'libcha, stained in your heart, penetrated in your heart. Part of your DNA, part of your blood. And I honestly believe that the way he was able to do what he did for the last 50 years, the thousands of Talmidim that he has, of neshamas that we went from Selah to the Lomad, to the Mayim, and to the Shem Hashem in the middle of that. Is only because the Torah was chakuk b'liba. It permeated his essence. It was who he was. He had a unique way of doing things. Little kids looked at young, we look at him. We thought he was a funny man. We imitated him because we thought it was funny. Yeah. But the older people understood. It's so much deeper than that. He was real, and he meant every bit of it. And it was all out of love. How can I get the boys and help the boys focus and understand and get that Kodesh Baruch Hu's Torah? Because how can I see Yiddish and Neshama sitting here with the Torah and it's not getting to him? So I have to talk him in different language, so maybe now he'll understand. Have the love that he had for Mamish, his Rebbeim, his family, his Talmidim, and really all of Klal Yisrael. Like I said, I was never a direct Talmud of his. I never Mishir. He was never my Minal. I was never in camp with him. But over the last 25 years, I must have had a dozen encounters with him, and every single one was as though you're meeting a Malach who saw only Pnimis. He saw straight through you. You didn't see it outside. It should be a Melitz Yesha for all of us. All of Klal Yisrael who we loved so dearly. And we have a Mamas Netzach, a Machashim to the Yaakov Panim. Have a Hila Gezusa Shabbos. And as always, any questions, comments, or feedback, you can leave in the comment section below.